What? No different today. Baruch Haba, on behalf of Ign Sheter, I'd like to welcome Taicha to the wonderful Shir Rabbi Yakov Shlita every Sunday morning. Today's Shir, the topic is priorities in Kidush Levana. Today's Shir is Nidbas, the board member of Ign Sheter, Rabbi Ari Panos, Lenishmas Aviv, Rabbi Avram Zev Ben Rabbi Socha, the Yortzeit is Yud Gimel El, and also another board member of Ign Sheter, Rabbi Avram Motke Steinman, the Lenishmas Aviv, Rabbi Yitzchak Yehuda Ben Rabbi Yisrael, the Yortzeit is Tes El. Now we have the cover to hear the Shri of Rabbi Yakov Shlita.
A few months ago I heard the following Shaila. It was a cloudy month, B'chlal, and one night they tried to make Kidush Levana, it was too cloudy. So someone asked me, he was up late that night, and he noticed around 11:30 p.m. that is, there was a clear Levana, and he wanted to know, should he make it right then and there, because he's only one person, there's no minyan, there's no roiva, or wait till tomorrow night and hope there will be a clear Levana. So the question, of course, is there an inyan to make Kiddush Levana with others? Can you say it yourself? Then we had a similar shayla when it was again a cloudy month, but Levana was visible. The Rav came out and said, this is definitely a kosher Levana, no doubt about it. One person had a preference, as some Chassidim and some Sfaradim have. He waits for a perfectly clear Levana. So he said, I'll wait till tomorrow night. I'll do it tomorrow night. But they told him, we're all doing it tonight. You're going to have to do it bihychidas tomorrow night. No big deal. Who said you have to have a minyan for Kiddush Levana? I'll tell you a third shayla, a fascinating shayla. It's negeya. It could be negeya tonight. Someone's Bar Mitzvah is tonight. Tonight, of course, will be Tes Elul. And the question is, when does he make Kiddush Levana? He could have made it last week. If you hold Gimel is enough, he could have made it in the middle of last week. He could have made it last night, Motzei Shabbos, that's also beyond, past Ayin Shlemim. Last night had Ala Mailis. But he wants to make it after he's a Bar Mitzvah boy. So now he's saying it als Gadol. But, of course, the problem is that he's the only one that's waiting till tonight. Everybody made it last night. So it's basically a question of priorities. In the past, last year, in fact, we had 2 shiurim about Kiddush Levana, but there's a totally different, independent shiur. And you have to realize what makes this very common. There are 3 different zmanim regarding Kiddush Levana. Some wait for 3 days, they make it after 3. Some are makbid zayim shleimim. Some prefer Motzei Shabbos. And how do you prioritize when you have different minhagim? So the real challenge is, if you think about it, in all these cases, it's not a question, is it a hiddur or not? It's rather a question, is it a hiddur to wait? Or maybe it's an avla. Because zrizen makdimin lemitzvahs, you don't delay a mitzvah. And we know the general klal, of course, is mitzvah boliyot chal tach mitzen or eim avir nala mitzvahs. So what do you mean? You're walking by a tzibur that's saying Kiddush Levana? How could you just leave a tzibur? Because you want to do it with a clearer Levana? Is that a maila? Is that a mitzvah? Or maybe it's wrong. So as derech Baruch Hashem, we have a recite Torah. Let's look into Chazal, try to understand a little bit of the nature of the mitzvah, and then hopefully we'll have guidance for our shaylas. And this particularly will have a matan schar b'tzida. There are other major yesodot that we will touch upon as we learn this sugya. The source of the mitzvah of Kiddush Levana, as we know, is the Gemara Sanhedrin Daf Mem Beis. Kol mevarach al chodesh bizmanoi, ki'ilu mekabel pnei hashchina. Basically, this is a tremendous chizuk to say Kiddush Levana properly. The Gemara is telling us when you say Kiddush Levana, it's like you mekabel pnei hashchina, which is a tremendous chshivas to the mitzvah. Now, last year we discussed this at length, but very briefly, a person. We don't see Bayri Olam, Kilayani Adam V'chai. But if you want to see a little of the Neflayis HaBayri, look up in the sky. You'll see a moon, a tremendous moon that's basically has no light, but it takes the reflection from the sun. The moon is bigger than planet Earth. The sun is bigger than planet Earth many times. You look at the stars, each one is bigger than planet Earth. So, Mari Meinechem Urumi Bar Eila, says Rabbeinu Yaina, The closest thing to seeing Pnei Ashchina is looking up and seeing a magnificent sky. So l'chayra, and I stress l'chayra, we don't see anything about priorities. We see Kidush Levana is a great mitzvah. But we don't see anything about Zmanim and priorities in Zmanim. But we'll soon see we do see. But let's move on. The second source for Kidush Levana is the Yerushalmi and Brachis Perek Tes Halacha Beis Harayas Halavana Bechidusha Oime Baruch Mechadesh Chadoshim. And Rabbi say this says a lot about the Zman and priorities. Haraya Levana Bechidusha. What does Chidusha mean? When it starts to reappear, when it's rebirth. More so, as we know from other places in Shas, if you want to get an understanding of a mitzvah, look at the Nusach HaBracha. Lahadik ner shel Chanukah hadlaka isa mitzvah. What is the tzuras ha-mitzvah of Kidush Levana? Baruch atah Hashem mechadesh chadoshim. For a few days in the month, almost half the month, the Levana is either getting smaller or invisible. The first of the month is its rebirth, its rejuvenation. Haraya Levana b'chidusha, you say mechadesh chadoshim, because now I start to see the moon reappearing. It's a tremendous nefloyas habari that once again it's there, and basically this is the tzuras ha-mitzvah b'chidusha. This is why, if you look in the Rambam in Perek Yud, Halacha Yud Zayin of Hilchos Brachos, the Rambam says a very interesting lashon. Im leibirach aleh b'layla rishayna mevarach aleh ad tezayin. If you didn't do it the first night, don't worry, you have till the 15th, till the 16th, but the 15th included. Zogt Rabbeinu Menoyach on the Rambam, the Aruch HaShulchan in Tav Chavav Yud Gimel Rav Moshe and Aleph Kuf Mem Gimel, is mashma the Rambam held the preferred day, the premium time to say Kiddush Levana is the first day. Why? That's b'chidusha. That's when it's time to reappear. Okay, most Rishonim, Rabbeinu Yoin and Brachas Chafal and Dafi Arif and others say the first day is too early. You barely could see it. There's kamat no time to see it. It's out for a very short time, and more so, it's so small. So Zokter Rabbeinu Yoina, the right time to say it is the third day. But Rabbi say we see something very important. The earlier, the better. ASAP is not just a din of zrizen makdimin lemitzvahs. Don't delay it. Say it right away. When it comes to Kidush Levana, there's another maila in the guf ha-mitzvah to say it right away. Because since the bracha is bechidusha, since the bracha is supposed to highlight the newness, so you wake up the 10th of the month and you say Kidush Levana, look how big it is. The earlier, the better, not only because of zriza makdimin lemitzvahs, but because it's more bechidusha. In fact, there's a sheet in the Gemara that after 7 days you're not allowed to say Kidush Levana. It's too late. It's like wishing a chassan mazel tov after the Shever brachos. Now you wake up. Okay, we paskin till the 15th, but Rabbi said it seems that besides the general mitzvah of zriza makdimin, the earlier the better. And one final source, Masechta Sefer in Perek Chav, Ein mevarchen ala yereach ela b'motzai Shabbos kishu mevusim v'kelim noyim. Now here, this is very surprising. Where did Motzei Shabbos come into the picture? We know the Rambam holds the first day. We paskin like the Rabbeinu Yoina, 7 days. Chsidim and Svardim go, 3 days, The Rabbeinu Yoina says 3 days. Chsidim and Svardim go with the Mechaba, which Al Pi Kabbalah, to wait for 7 days, Ayin Shleimim, all fine and voyal. But where did Motzei Shabbos come into the picture? So Rabbi say this is really based on the Gemara that we began with in Sanhedrin. The Gemara says that Kiddush Levana is Kabbalah's Pnei Ashrin, an incredible chshivas of the mitzvah. No, when is the most appropriate time to Mekabel Pnei Ashchina? When you're at your best. Not only in your finest clothing, but in your finest level, your highest level. A Shabbos Yid, a Motzei Shabbos Yid, Now, we can't do it on Shabbos, we don't do it on Shabbos, but the best time to do it is Motzei Shabbos. When you're mavusam, you're more dahaibin, kalim noim, you're wearing big day Shabbos. I mean, how do you greet a king? In the best time and with your finest. And we spoke about it last year, that's why you keep your feet together. When you make the bracha of Kidush Levana, that's the Ferish Masechta Seifrim and Shulchan Aruch in Taf Chavav, because it's like Shmeina Esra. You go out, you don't say Kidush Levana in the building, you don't stand under a roof, you go out, Derech Mekabel Adam Chashuv. In fact, the Ramah says if you have to do it during the week, up to Ramah and Siv Beis, put on Big Day Shabbos. Okay, that's not the minig, but at least to appreciate when you're doing it, you do it with the sensitivity of Mekabel Pnei Ashchina. Oy bazoi, that's why Motzei Shabbos is a good day to do it. Now there's a lot to say, but we have a big agenda. Let it suffice the words of the Yosef Oimitz and Siman Tov Samach Zayin, one of the Gedolei Ashkenaz. Mama oy tzarech zehiris gedola. How much you need a great zehiris lashgiach b'mitzvahs Kidush Levana kirabehi. It's a great mitzvah. V'lav milsa zutas. It's not a kleinigkeit. Masha amru chazal ilmol loizoch lahag b'panei aviyim. This is Kabbalah's Pnei Ashchina. The mashma sheshkuli kechol ha-mitzvahs. I don't know where he got that from, but he considers that not only it's Mekabel Pnei Ashchina, but it's mamish as if it's keshkula keneged kol ha-mitzvahs. Okay, so we have the following. It's a great mitzvah, Kabbalah's Pnei Ashchina, and we see the three zmanim, the third day, Al Pi Kabbalah, the seventh day, and Motzei Shabbos many people favor. Now let's apply it l'maisa. Okay? Now let's begin with the shalah we began with. It was a cloudy night in shul, no one said it. You're up late at night, 11:30 p.m. This is a beautiful Levana. Should I do it tonight, myself, or wait until tomorrow night when the tzibah does it? So the chayra, I have three good reasons. Do it tonight. Why not? It's the right zman. And once you're outside, anyhow, to walk away from a Levana might even be a mavin ala mitzvahs. And also, the earlier the better, bechidusha. There's no minyan. Who said you have to have a minyan? The Mishnah Megillah of Gimel has a whole list of things that mean a minyan. You do not see Kidush Levana in that Mishnah. Also, as the Achreinim point out, the Birkei Yosef and Yeridei Shin Tzad the Gimel in the beginning, that's later in Hilchas Aveilus, speaking about an aveil with Kidush Levana, he says the lashon of the Yishalmi Haroya Levana bechidusha is a lashon yachid, Haroya, not Haroyim. And indeed, the Pri Chadash in our Siman Tov Chavav Sifkat and Aleph, he says there is no chiyuv to have a minyan for Kidush Levana. The fact that it's not in the Mishnah Megillah Chav Gimel Amud Beis. And to my knowledge, all agree, as the Bialacha puts it in Siv Beis, Medina Muta Lekadesh Afilu Biyachidos. So the Chayra, if that's the case, why wait? Do it tonight. Zrizen, don't be Mavir ala mitzvahs, and the Chidusha. And as we'll see, the Das Torah, the Bejana Rav, and our Simon, with many other Achrayim hold, if you see a Levana, do it, don't wait. However, there's a different factor, which is based on a pasuk in Mishlei Yudalit Chav Ches, Berov Om Hadras Melach. Now the Vel says Berov Om, but the pasuk says Berov, Reish, Kametz, Veiz, like Am Rov, but the same idea. So if I say Rov, Berov or Rov Om Hadras Melach, which is a Gemara in Psachim, Samach Dalet, Yuma Dafayin, Brachas Nun Gimel, in many different contexts. But basically, the more people you do something with, the more covered it is, Kvoid HaMelech. Zogt Chayodam in Samaches Yud Aleph, every mitzvah, if you could do it with a Chabura, that's a fulfillment of Berov Om Hadras Melech. Now this is a general klal, a general maila regarding other mitzvahs. But Rabbi say for us this morning, we could suggest that when it comes to Kidush Levana, there's more of an inyan of Rav Om. Or better yet, it's part of the Maisa mitzvah to have others with you. Why? Because since the mitzvah of Kidush Levana is Hadras Melech, it's Kabbalas Pnei Ashchina, doesn't it make sense? The more people you have, the bigger covered Ashchina. Fakert. We saw halach, you have to go out of the house. We said halach, you have to put your feet together. Kabbalas Pnei Ashchina. No. Who's Mekabel, a king alone? We could almost quote the pasuk, Vahi b'shur and melech b's'asef rashei yachat shiftei Yisrael. So in other words, it's not just the general maila of Rav. When it comes to Kidush Levana, it's a maila in the Kidush Levana. It's a better Kidush Levana if you have Yachat Shiftei Yisrael. And this is very mistavra. The Kidush Levana is a better quality when you have a tzibur. In fact, I used to wonder, it's so mistavra, why don't we find a Beferish Gemara, Bavli, Rishalmi, Zech Seifrim? I mean, there are so many details in Chazal. Why don't we find Beferish that you should have a Roiv for Kidush Levana? So I thought maybe Adrab, it's Pashit. But raise a pella. The Gemara says in Sanhedrin Daf Mem Beis, Merema v'Ravashi mechatfi lehu mevarchi. They stuck together and they made the bracha. So the Torah says, Torah now was Simon, derech chashivas lahad b'pnei ashchina derech kavod. They did it together to make more kvod ashchina. But the Bach spells it out. They didn't say each one themselves. Nischabru yachad kisveyem shederu derech hashivas lahad b'pnei ashchina. And he says, just like we don't make Kiddush Levana under a roof, in a house, you have to go outside. So it seems pretty clear that not only is it a general maila of Rav, but a special maila regarding Kiddush Levana. Say it with others. Now, of course, you're wondering, they only had 2 people. We know Rav is 10 or 3. Okay, they didn't have more. We'll soon see how many you have to have. But Rabbi say, it seems clear that Lamaisa, when it comes to Kiddush Levana, there's a special maila to make it b'Ravam. And you'll find in Halacha, I'll give you 2 examples for now. The Shulchan Aruch in Tav Chavav, See, Bay says the minig is not to make it Maitzai Tainus. Because a person is still, not happy, he's supposed to do Besimcha. Maitzai Tainus, he's still feeling the aftermath of a Tainus. Okay, Mr. Burr says today we make it Maitzai Tainus, we make it Maitzai Tisha B'Av and Maitzai Yom Kippur. But at least Midina Ramah not to make it Maitzai Tainus. Zok the Magen Avram, let's say the tzibah is not fasting, it's a regular day. It's Zayin Elul, everybody's making Kiddush Levana. But I have a personal tainus. Let's say I'm fasting tainus chaloim. So really, I shouldn't make the Kiddush Levana. I should go home, eat, and then come back and make Kiddush Levana. But you can't fast when you're saying Kiddush Levana. But says the Magen Avram, but if the whole tzibur is going to say it, and you're going to run home and eat, by the time you come back, you're going to miss the tzibur, say it with the tzibur, B'roivam hadras melech. That's the Rabbi in Sifkot and Tezayin says, if you could run home and come back and make it with the tzibah, great. But if you're going to end up saying it biyichidus, say it fasting, b'roivam hadras melech. So we see, at least from the Magen Avram, that roivam outweighs halach and Shulchan Aruch, not to do it after fasting. And I'll tell you a big chiddush. There's a minig, as we'll soon see details, to make it Motzei Shabbos. Zok the Levush, and the Magen Avram Sifkot and Yud Gimel quotes as lahalacha. Let's say Motzei Shabbos comes out before Zayin Shlemim. What should the tzibah do? Should they make it Motzei Shabbos or wait till Zayin Shlemim? Now we're not talking about a yach, we're talking about a tzibah. What should the tzibah do? What's policy? Zok the Levush, we all know Motzei Shabbos is a bigger oilam for maariv than in a regular maariv during the week. In those days they couldn't daven the tzibah very often. They lived in dangerous places. So Motzei Shabbos is a bigger oil than during the week. Zok the Levush, in this case, make it a Motzei Shabbos, even though it's not Zayin Shlemim, Mishum B'roiv Hadras Melech. We'll say Mechan Rabbeinu Yain, 3 days is enough. So here we see the importance of Rav Oy Bazoi, Rabbi, so let's talk Tachos, our Shaila. During maariv there was no Levana. It's 11:30 p.m. and you're outside, you see a beautiful Levana. What should I do? Should I make Kidush Levana tonight alone or wait till tomorrow night? Now has a maila, zriza makdimin. But then again, tomorrow night I'm going to have roivam. So it comes to mind the following Trumas Hadeshim. The Trumas Hadeshim in Siman Lamed Hey, a very famous Trumas Hadeshim. In fact, the Shulchan Aruch quotes him. Shulchan Aruch quote in our Siman. Should someone do Kiddush Levana, Kreis Gimel or Zayin, or wait for Matzoi Shabbos? Now, sometimes waiting for Matzoi Shabbos pushes off Kiddush Levana a few days. Matzoi Shabbos is Tes or Yud. Says the Trumas Hadeshim, as long as it's before, it's Yud or before, forget about Gimel, forget about Zayin, wait till Matzoi Shabbos. Now, if you look at the Trumas Hadeshim, it's a pretty long tshuva. He has no problem waiting. The only problem is if you're going to wait beyond Yud, let's say Matzoi Shabbos Yud Aleph, you might end up missing Kiddush Levana. It's going to be cloudy in a few days. So the bulk of the tshuva is to prove you're allowed to wait. You don't have to worry you're going to miss the mitzvah, but there's a cutoff point. You're allowed to wait till Yud Chodesh to make Kiddush Levana Matzoi Shabbos. But let's say Matzoi Shabbos is Yud Aleph, Yud Beis, Yud Gimel, Yud Aleph. That's pushing it. Then you can't take a chance of missing the mitzvah. So you look at the whole tshuva and you wonder to yourself, listen, he's worrying about missing it. What about delaying it? I mean, think about it. I would make it Gimel, but I'm waiting till Matzoi Shabbos. You could wait almost a full week till Yud. People wait for Zayin. No, don't do Zayin. Wait till Yud. And do it Matzoi Shabbos. You're pushing off Kiddush Levana mamish days. What happened to Zriza Makdim on the mitzvahs? And the Ramah quotes this Trumas Hadeshim and Siv Beis that if it's till Yud, wait for Matzoi Shabbos. What happened to Zriza Makdimin? The truth is, the Trumas Hadeshim is right. Because Masechta Seifrim says you do it on Matzoi Shabbos. What does that mean? Only punkt when it comes out Gimel, or punkt when it's Zayin? Then you don't have to come out the Matzoi Shabbos. The teretz is Masechta Seifrim that says Matzoi Shabbos gives leeway to wait for Matzoi Shabbos. Zriza Makdimin LaMitzvahs. Rabbi said the teretz is very pashut. Zriza Makdimin LaMitzvahs is a chiv in chshivas and avas ha-mitzvahs. When you have something that you like, you do it right away, you don't delay it. Delaying a mitzvah is a bezoya mitzvah. But if you're delaying the mitzvah out cover a mitzvah, out the maariv from the mitzvah, to enhance the mitzvah, Matzoi Shabbos, you're a better person, you're in Big Day Shabbos, it's a better quality Kiddush Levana. It's not a bezoya, it's a covered for the mitzvah. So the Trumas Hadeshim had no problem delaying the mitzvah out covered for the mitzvah. The only problem he's worried about is you might miss the mitzvah. But we could add perhaps even more. When you do it on Matzoi Shabbos, it's a better quality mitzvah. No, that's certain. There is something to aim for. Oy bazoi Rabbi say our shaila, I could very well understand. I could do it tonight, 11:30 p.m. at home, but I'm alone. I'm waiting till tomorrow night to do it b'roivam. That's a better Kiddush Levana. It's b'roivam. So therefore there's no chisaron of Zriza Makdimin LaMitzvahs. And indeed the Buchacha in Eshel Avram, Medura Kama, Sif Beis, has this very shaila. And it's taka, I think it's so meduyik. He says, you could do it tonight biyechidos or tomorrow night b'tziba. Wait till tomorrow night, just like you wait for Matzoi Shabbos. Now I thought that has such meaning. There's no problem of Zriza Makdim and Matzoi Shabbos because it's better quality. There's a better quality b'roivam. And the Bialacha and Siv Beis Dil Maschal Elam also passed like this Buchacha. And I will soon see other places that say this psak like the Chofetz Chaim, like the Buchacha. But however, there's a big, big problem. And that's a Gemara in Rosh Hashanah Lamed Beis and Amud Beis. Not that the Gemara is a problem, but for us it's a problem. The Marsham, the Das Torah on our Siman Tov Chavav has our question. Biyechidos tonight or tomorrow night b'roivam? So Kedarka he had Shas, Shoga, Befiv. He says, Ayin, Rosh Hashanah, Lamed Beis, Amud Beis. And you'll get your guidance. What is Rosh Hashanah, Lamed Beis, Amud Beis? So this is an interesting Gemara. The Gemara wonders, why do we say Hallel in Shachris and not in Musaf? The Gemara seemed to know the Metzias, which I think is pretty true, maybe even today as well, that there's a bigger oilam by Musaf than Shachris. People come late. So Musaf, there's a bigger Roivam. Why don't we say Hallel by Musaf? Zok the Gemara, because by Shachris has a different Maila, Zriza Makdimin Lemitzvahs. You could say it now. So Zok the Gemara, Zriza Makdimin outweighs Rav Hadras Melech. Zok the Marsham, what do we see from a Gemara? That Zrizin is more important than Rav. So better do it tonight, biyichidus, and not tomorrow, B'Rav. And he says, Ayin Shari Tshuva Reish Chav Tes Gimel. That's another raya. The Shari Tshuva says, when you make the bracha Birchas Achama, best will be to do it with the nets. If need be, biyichidus. Why wait till later? B'Rav, now you could do it, Zriza Makdimin. So the Marsham understood, you have two rayas that Roiv is nitcha because of Zriza Makdimin. And that's the way he paskins. Not only he paskins that way, the Chayodam in Samachez Vav, based on the Gemara Rosh Hashanah, the Chesed La'alof from Tav Chavav Gimel, the Kidush Levana in Tzadik Zayin Tes, all say our Shaila, do it at night by yourself or tomorrow night, do it tonight, Zriza Makdim Mitzvahs. But the question is, don't think for 1 second that the Buchacha, the Bialocha forgot the Gemara Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara says that Zrizin is more important than Ravam. So I think for us it's Masik Midvash. The Maila of Zrizin, L'gabi Kidush Levana, is a general Maila. It's a good thing like any mitzvah. But it's not a better quality Kidush Levana. If you wait till tomorrow night and you do it B'Rav, it's a better quality Kidush Levana. It's not just a general Maila, it's a specific Maila for Kidush Levana. So therefore, a better Kidush Levana outweighs the Maila of Zrizin. In those cases, it's two Mailas, general Mailas, Ravam, Zrizin. But Kidush Levana is a better Kidush Levana when it's done by Ravam. Now that it's so good, this Shita, so what did the Das Torah hold? The Teretz, I believe he held that the earlier the better is also a Maila in Kidush Levana. Why? Bechidusha, the earlier the better. So here we have a machlokes gedolei apoiskim. Should you do it the earliest time or wait until there's a minyan? No, we follow the psak of the Chafetz Chaim, and taka you should wait until this roiv The Rav Sternbuch in Chelik Aleph Reishei says the minig is like the buchacha. The taka you could do it tonight bezrizus, but tomorrow night you'll have a minyan. Wait till tomorrow night. There's a lot of stories about gedolei yolam, whether they were traveling. I heard a story, even one gadol was in the car, and they spotted a Levana, and he told the driver, pull over, we have to make Kiddush Levana. Surprise, there's no minyan? No, you got to do it, you have to do it. A little while later, they were driving, they were in an accident, and they were saved, and they attributed it to the schus of Kiddush Levana. I should mention that Taka, the Ber Heitiv, in Hilchas Yom Kippur, says that the Gevaldige school of the Shmir of making Kiddush Levana Bizman. Now this is a beautiful story, and everybody knows one story or the other, but that's a moifus. If someone to ask a shayla, I'm walking into shul, I see a levana, should I do it now, or wait till the tzibah does it tomorrow night? I'm not so sure. La halacha, he should wait for a tzibah. Maybe Gedolei Olam had this, the concern that maybe they had it was a moifus, whatever. But takaloit, as we saw the Das Torah, you could do it b'yachidis tonight and not wait for a minyan. But let's not forget, la halacha, if you know there's a minyan tomorrow night and you have no reason to believe it's going to be cloudy for a string of days, wait b'roivam. Okay, so the person goes out 11:30 p.m., there's a levana, he'll wait for tomorrow night. But wait, he wants to make his levana. So he has an idea. He just notices two of his neighbors are taking out the garbage punt. He goes, let's make a matziv. We'll make Kiddush Levana together. And of course, after we'll dance and wake up the whole neighborhood. It'll be levadik, laihudim. The question now is another fundamental question. What is the definition of roivam? We kept on saying minyan, mechatesa. How do you define the quality of roivam? Is it a minyan? Or maybe it's like mezum and 3 is enough? So the Shulchan Aruch in Kuf Tzad the Gimel, Siv Beis, actually the Ramah The Ramah speaks about something, time you have three people eating together, but it's not a real tziruf. But he says, even though you could really split and not make a zimun, but it's better to make a zimun, the berov hadras melech. From that Ramah, it's clear that three people is enough for roivam. The Chai Adam in Samaches Yudala sends us to Menachas Samach Beis Ayin Sham, that for Menachas is mashma, three people is enough for roivam. In other words, you don't need Ada 10, roiv is enough. Rabbim, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, the halacha of Hamal b'nei chaver b'Rabbim ein leichel k'olam haba is three people. Now you don't need the kiflayim kiyoytzim mitzrayim. Three people, Rabbim. So apparently the Chai Adam and the Bialacha quotes him in Siv Beis and earlier Mishtabur and Ches Yud Gimel that for roiv it's enough three people. And the truth is, there's a third raya. The Shulchan Aruch and Hilchos Rosh Chodesh Tav Chav Beis Siv Beis says ideally one should have a minyan for halal. It's a shayla allowed to make a bracha on Rosh Chodesh halal without a minyan. So at the end of the day, the Ramah says that Lamaisa, when you have three people, that's also a rabbim, and you could say halal. The Haidul Hashem Kitayv Yemen Yisrael Zok the Goyin on that Ramah, because three people is considered a rabbim, and he sends you to Yeridei Reish Chav Ches Chav Aleph. A fourth raya. What's Reish Chav Ches Chav Aleph? Neder Shehud the B'Rabbim Ein Lo Yafar, Ein Lo Yatar. And the Shulchan Aruch there has a shita. If you have three people, you said a neder under three people, Ein Lo Yafar. So before long, we have a whole new understanding. Rav is three people. So me and two others is enough to make Kidush Levana. You don't have to wait till tomorrow night, B'Roivam. You could have it tonight with your two neighbors at 11:30 p.m. Now someone asked me, wait a minute, but what do you do about the Shalom Aleichem? Okay, that's not such a terrible problem. You'll give someone doubles. Shalom Aleichem, go back and go back to him. The truth is, if you look in the Lashon of the Paiskim, the Lashon is, you tell someone Shalom Aleichem 3 times. It's pretty mistav, you're allowed to use the same person 3 times. And I'll tell you a third chiddush. The reason why do we say Shalom Aleichem and Kidush Levana? Because you just scare the other person. Tipa Aleim Amasav Afachad. So you have to show that we're friends. Shalom Aleichem. So some Paiskim say, if you're saying Kidush Levana, for whatever reason you're saying it biyichidus, you don't have to say Shalom Aleichem, because you're not scaring anybody. So if you only have 2 people that you're scaring, so you say to 2 people. So the Shalom Aleichem issue we could resolve. But let me just tell you, Zok the Bi'alacha, that after he says, don't do it biyichidus, if you could do it b'roivam, wait for tomorrow night, he says, but if you find 2 others, now you have a total of 3, that's also qualifies for Rav Hadras Melech. Now I did see the Har Tzvi in Siman Yotes, and I saw the Paiskim quote, a Maraz Binga, that's an earlier Paisik, regarding Kidush Levana, that Rav means 10. Apparently they focus on the word You can't have an with 3 people. It's like Ada is less than 10. So there is a Shita, I must say, that Rav is 10. And there's definitely a Maila Zak the Kafachayim to have 10 people for Kiddush Levana, because then you could all say Kaddish after Kiddush Levana. So we'll say that Enochanami there's a Maila having 10. But in our case, where you want to say it dafka tonight, al zriza makdimin, you could rely on the sheet is that 3 is enough. I should mention 3 places, Mishtabur and Ches Yud Gimel, Reish Yud Gimel, and Bialacha Kuf Samach Zayin Yud Aleph. In 3 places, Mishtabur says Rav is even 2 people. You make Kiddush, you make a bracha on Talis, you might see someone else, Rav Hadras Melech. Is only 2. It's also a Rav, it's also people. So if some hold 2 and some hold 3, so even though some hold 10, but the whole Kiddush Levana Ravam is only a Hiddur. And you want to do it tonight to be Yoitza, Zriza, Makdimin, so you could definitely rely on 3 people as Ravam. If you have 3 neighbors, 2 neighbors outside with you, you could make it tonight, not wait for tomorrow night. The same is always Negeya for people that have a long Gishmain Esra, they come outside for Kiddush Levana, there's no one left. As long as there are 2 other people with you, a total of 3, you could consider that Rav Hadras Melech. Someone asked me, Bechlal, he finished my Nesra, there was no one outside. Should he go to a different minyan? And today, in our neighborhoods, Bar Park, Flatbush, there are minyanim all over the place. Should it be matriach to go to a tzibur that's saying Kidush Levana now? The answer is absolutely. There's a mail of Rav Hadras Melech. Now, I'm not saying it's a chiyuv, but if you know there's a tzibur saying it, or wait till the next minyan finishes, whatever the scenario is, is it an inyan? Yes. Is it kaddish? Yes. Is it a chiyuv? I can't say chiyuv, but definitely a quality in the mitzvah. Someone asked me, he davens in a tzibur, and they daven very fast, he davens very slow, which is not a good combination. By the time he finishes, he ends up saying Kiddush Levana alone. Should he rush up his Shmein Esrei to say Kiddush Levana b'ravam? So I told him it's nice to say b'ravam al kabbalas pnei hashchina, but in the middle of Shmein Esrei, you're also be mekabel pnei hashchina. So it doesn't seem to be correct. Now I told him, and I said, not you, but some people, the Shmein Esrei, they go on vacation. There's nothing, phone, so they end up in, Florida someplace thinking about this and that. If you are drifting off, so you rather come back, hurry up, and say Kiddush Levana. But if your Shmein Esrei is of quality, and you're talking to the Rabbi Shalom, you don't leave the Rabbi Shalom for a kabbalas pnei hashchina of Kiddush Levana b'roivam. Question, you go outside, and there are two people, but one of them is not yet Bar Mitzvah. Father and son are saying it. Does a cotton count to Rav Hadras Melech? So this is an interesting question, because if he's a Giyul Chinuch, so his Kiddush Levana is a Kiddush Levana. He's only a Mechuyev and Chinuch midrabanan, but then again, the whole Kiddush Levana is only midrabanan. But, wait a second, a cotton has two derabanans. He's a derabanan, al Chinuch, and Kiddush Levana is derabanan. Me and you, Gedolim, it's one derabanan. And I saw the Avnei Yashin Chela Gimel Simon Nun Siv Cotton Dal. It seems to say a cotton can't be counted because he has a less quality Kiddush Levana. Now, to me, this was a very big Kiddush because he's not being moitzi me. It's a question of, like I said, making a matzav out of it, making it more of a kanak. 3 people is considered significant. So does he have to be wearing a hat to count? Meichet you have to have a bar chiyuva to make ravam. Now, if he's lo yagil l'chinuch, if his Kiddush Levana is not a chiyav, no, maybe he doesn't count. But as long as you have someone that's saying it as chayiv, who cares if it's 2 derabbanans? Lamaisi, he's a human being, and his Kiddush Levana is very precious. So l'chayr, there would be a tzad to say, as long as he's a gil l'chinuch, even if chinuch is on the father, but lamaisa, it is a maisa Kiddush Levana. Consider this question. A person had daven long Shmein Esrei, and he went outside, and there's an ice island, but they're all holding at the end of Kiddush Levana. I always wondered this question. We know the importance of every word of Kiddush Levana, but the ik is the bracha. My question is, I end up saying the bracha when the tzibur is saying Shalom Aleichem and Tana de Belio. They all finish the bracha when I started the bracha. Is that considered roivam? So the truth is, the bracha was not said b'ravam. But if we understand that the main thing is to have a tzibur saying it, so hopefully, I couldn't find this mefurish in any place, but hopefully that's also roivam because there's a tzibur saying Kiddush Levana. The next group of questions is a real priority question. Let me explain. Lamashal, Rosh Chodesh is Tuesday. Okay? Monday night, Tuesday. So you'll notice some people are saying Kiddush Levana already Thursday night, because it's already 3 days. Some people will say it Motzei Shabbos, but some people say, no, not before Sunday night, because I want Zayin Shlemim. So here the question is, what are my priorities? If a tzibur is doing differently, should I follow the tzibur? B'chlal, what should I do? So l'chayra, if we understand that less man depolim, let's be clear, everybody agrees after 3 days is perfect Kiddush Levana. But why does some wait for Motzei Shabbos? Else the mile of it. So that we just learned. Even though 3 days you could say it, so why wait? Reason makdimin lemitzvahs, ein mafrin ala mitzvahs. But wait, we saw Trumas Hadeshin. You're allowed to push it off until Yud, if need be. Why? Because a Motzei Shabbos Kiddush Levana is a better quality. According to the Trumas Hadeshin, it's simple. You wait for Motzei Shabbos, as long as there's Levana there, you're allowed to wait. But not all agree. The Maarav and Kuf Nun Tes, actually the Bach on our Siman, say, if it's good after 3 days, why wait for Motzei Shabbos? Now, they're not talking to Yechidim, they're talking to a tzibur. A tzibur wants to know, when should I say Kidush Levana this month? This month, Elul, Rosh Chodesh Elul was Shabbos and Sunday, and Motzei Shabbos was Ches Elul, last night. According to the Gra, you should not wait for Motzei Shabbos. You should do it Monday night, probably because the Moila was earlier. You could do it Monday night, certainly Tuesday night or Wednesday night. Don't wait for Motzei Shabbos. The Bach also says, don't wait for Zayin Shleimin. He's not happy with Zayin Shleimin. But he does say, and in the Tshuvas it's Mefurish, in the Tshuvas of Bach Simon Pei, you should wait for Motzei Shabbos. And for his Pashut. Zayin Shleim is Al Pi Kabbalah. Very nice, but it's not in Shas or Masechta Seifrim. Motzei Shabbos is Masechta Seifrim. You can't push away a Masechta Seifrim. So this explains why you'll see by Yidden 3 minhagim. Some will make Gimel, no matter what, like the Gra, Gimel, no Motzei Shabbos, no Zayin Shleimim. Some will wait for Zayin Shleimim no matter what, and some will make Motzei Shabbos their aim to make Kiddush Levana. What's interesting is, and I didn't find this mefurish, so maybe someone could tell me the right psak. Let's say I'm a Gronik, and I make Gimel 3 days no matter what. I'm in a small little shtetl, a chassidish shtetl, a svardish shtetl, and no one's thinking of making it before Zayin. What should I do? I'll make it Gimel, but I'm all alone. Hein am levada yishka. No one else is saying it. Should I wait for Zayin Shleimim and have a tzibur? But my minig is Gimel. Now you're probably wondering, what's the shaila? We just saw Ma'aser Rav. The Goyin says, don't wait for Zayin, don't wait for Motzei Shabbos. In fact, the Goyin says, don't wait for Motzei Tisha B'Av, and don't wait for Motzei Yom Kippur. Do it Gimel. So what's my shaila? Teretz from the Ma'aser Rav is not a raya at all. The Ma'aser Rav is talking to a tzibur that wants to know when to do it. He's giving us priorities in a tzibur. No, a tzibur, so do it Gimel. Everybody does it Gimel. But who said if it means me making it biyichidus, I should do it biyichidus? You're allowed to do it in Gimel, but doing it in Gimel is zrizen. Maybe Motzei Shabbos with the tzibur has 2 more milas. If I wait for Motzei Shabbos with the tzibur, I'm going to have Motzei Shabbos and Rava. Or maybe the Goyin says Gimel, no matter what. Now, I did not find this mefurish, but again, it's very tempting to say that if the tzibur will say Motzei Shabbos, you're going to have 2 milas in the Kiddush Levana Gufa. So maybe even the Goyin would agree to wait. Don't forget, the Bach says to say Motzei Shabbos. But again, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But maybe the Goyin held the Kpei that do it Gimel and not wait. Next question, also a common question. The person who has, his minig is after 3. Okay? The tzibur is waiting for Motzei Shabbos, like I just told you. So in that case, if he's not a minig hagra, he certainly should wait for the tzibur to say Motzei Shabbos. Then he has 2 milas, as we said in the Kiddush Levana itself. Now, let's talk about the following shayla. Motzei Shabbos is the 5th day of the month, which happens quite often. The tzibur is either chassidish tzibur or svardish tzibur, and before Zayin Shleimim, nothing's doing. So the tzibur is waiting until Zayin Shleimim. What should I, the yachid, do? And again, I'm in a small little shtetl, there's no minyan in every corner. It's either do it myself, Motzei Shabbos, 5th, or wait for the tzibur and say it Zayin Shleimim. Again, there's no other option. So here, Rabbi, here's the same point that we said many times, we'll say it again. Count up the milas and make a decision appropriately. If I do it, Motzei Shabbos, the 5th of the month, I have a mila of zrizen, also bechidusha, a little more, and I have the mila of Motzei Shabbos. If I wait for the tzibur to say it, I have 1 mila, Zayin Shleimim. No? In that case, we would recommend you say it biyichidus. You have Zayin, you also have Roivam. I'm sorry, that's right. But Motzei Shabbos, you have Motzei Shabbos quality and Zrizen with Chidusha, which is really 1. So 2 is more than 1. So why wait for the tzibur and have only roiva? You could say it now, especially if the levana is right there. Why walk away from a levana? So this is not my chiddush. This is the buchacha in Siv Beis, that if the tzibur is waiting for Zayin Dafka, you want to say it Matzoi Shabbos alone, you have a right to say it. 2 is more than 1. Now, Baruch Hashem, today you could find the minyan of your choice, but if it's only this or waiting till the tzibur says it, Azai state in buchacha. The question is fakert. The tzibur is saying gimel during the week, like the gra. And your minig is Matzoi Shabbos. But if you're going to wait for Matzoi Shabbos, you're going to be a solo, because no one else is waiting, they're doing gimel. So here, it's the same fakert. Let me explain. Here, waiting for the tzibur, saying with the tzibur, you have a maariv of roivam, and zrizen. Doing it Matzoi Shabbos, the heilig of Matzoi Shabbos, is 1 maila. So you should rather do it now, and 2 mailas is more than 1. What 2 mailas? Zrizen, Bichidusha, and also you have the maila of roivam. So it's really the same svar. It comes out fakert, but it's the same svar. You have to count up the mailas and decide appropriately. And that's not my chiddush, that's the Sharatzi and the Sivkot and Chaf. A tricky question is, let's say, either a Chassidus Yid or a Sfardish Yid who's makbid in Zayin Shlemim, ends up in a small little shtetl, and everybody is making it Matzoi Shabbos, hey, the 5th day or 4th day, whatever it is, before Zayin Shlemim. So he's told in no uncertain terms, on this desert island, there's 1 minyan for Kidush Levana, it's this Matzoi Shabbos, we're all saying it. You want to do what you want, that's fine with us, but you're not going to have any, companions to say it. So l'chayr, this is pashut. If he says it with the tzibur, he has 3 milos. Zrizen, the chidusha, Motz Shabbos, and roivam. Now, this l'chayra is our Levush and Magen Avram. The Levush and Magen Avram say that even though Zayin Shleiman is a Maila, but you rather say Matzoi Shabbos and rely on less than Zayin Shleiman. Now, that's not really a right. That's talking about a tzibah. But anyhow, but the Levush already gave us priorities. So al pi halacha, it certainly makes sense. You should give up the Zayin Shleiman and say it b'roivam, Matzoi Shabbos, earlier than possible. However, my feeling is, and I asked a few Chassidish Yidden that told me that's, for them it's pashut, before Zayin Shleimim, there's no Levana. So you tell me there's Roivam, and there's Matzoi Shabbos, and Zrizen, but there's no Levana. I don't see Levana. If there's a Kepeda, I'll be Kabbalah before Zayin, so, I'm not joining, forget it, all the miles. So, certainly, if you have that Kepeda, now, the Levush, the Magen Avram said, the whole Tzibur should say it, Matzoi Shabbos before Zayin Shleimim. That's a tzibur, that's, doesn't have a, the definite kapeda. But if your kapeda is Zayin Shleimim, before that, there's nothing to talk about, so there's nothing to talk about, so there's nothing to talk about. Following question, beautiful shayla. It's a bit cloudy out there, but the Rav comes out because this Levana is 100% kosher. I know it's not perfect, but it's perfectly kosher. And the tzibur starts saying it. One fellow waits for a clear Levana, I think they call it a square Levana. He wants a perfect Levana. So he says, Rabbi, if, this is a little desert island, there's no one else saying, tomorrow night, it's okay. Are you allowed to, should you wait for a perfectly clear Levana if it means saying Kiddush Levana, biyichidus tomorrow night? So this is a new question. Is there a hiddur in saying it in a clear Levana? Is that doicha roivam? Is that doicha's reason? So as I told you, we have a Reicha Torah. Listen to a Ma'aseh that seems to be unrelated, but it's very related. Someone was anxiously waiting for Ner Chanukah, but Nebuch, he didn't have oil, he's a poor person, so he set up candles. He ate with candles. As he's about to make the brach, someone comes running, it's your lucky day, I have a present, I have oil, you could use the oil, you don't have to make on candles. So what would you tell this Yid? What's the shayla? Make sha'as and lisim la'veiseinu v'yom ha'mehem b'zman hazeh, make with kavana. Mean yourself, right? Zok t'shvus yayinkim v'chelik alef lamed zayin, nothing doing. Don't you touch those candles. Ein mavirin ala mitzvahs. You don't move a mitzvah, you prepare the neres Chanukah, light on the candles. As I state in shvus yakim. The Chacham Tzvi and Siman, the Tshuva Siman Mem Hey, says, I saw a sefer that came out, Shvus Yakov, he writes this chiddush, and Kedarka, he blasts that psak. He has a whole long tshuva. Amongst the tainis is, it's not a mitzvah yet. You didn't start the mitzvah, you prepared it. And also, you're doing it, you're being mavirin al mitzvahs to get a better quality. Because everybody is moida, that hither is Shem and Zayis, like the maral, you're not even yaitz with candles. But what's beautiful, he has a raya from Hilchas Kidush Levana. Now, Rabbi say, where did we see, we all saw this, a raya from Kidush Levana, that you're allowed to be mavirin al mitzvahs or better quality mitzvah? No, it's our Trumas Hadeshen, Zok the Chacham Tzvi. The Trumas Hadeshen tells a Yid to walk away from a moon every single night and wait up till Yud B'Chodesh to make it Matzai Shabbos. What about Mavin ala Mitzvahs? The teretz is that Mavin ala Mitzvahs, like we explained, is a lack of Chashivas. But if you're doing it out covered on Mitzvah, Avadi allowed to walk away. So this is the Chacham Tzvi, says emphatically, put away the candles and use the oil. Now the Shvus Yankov in a later tshuva in Beis Lamed defends his point, but that's the tumult. Zok the Marsham and Das Torah, again a very short shtickle. If someone wants to wait for a clearer Levana, he sends you to this Machloikis, Kedarka, very bekitza, Shvus Yankov and Chacham Tzvi. Now it seems most poskim go with the Chacham Tzvi, because it's Mistavra, but Rabbi see our case there's an added reason not to wait. Because if you're going to do it tonight, tomorrow night, you're doing it biyachidas. Tonight you're going to do it b'ravam, especially if tonight's Matzai Shabbos. But even if not, how could you wait for another night? You're giving up a mile of ravam. So it seems this case there would be kedai to do it b'tzibur and overlook your peda, unless you think there's no levana. If you don't see a levana, if you have those sensitive eyes, then enechanami. But the best thing would be to find that tzibur that says with your perfect levana, and then you could wait. Consider the following question. You come to shul for the 8:30 maariv, and you come a little early, as you like to. 8:25 you're coming to maariv, and there's a tzibur saying Kidush Levana. They're the 8:15, meaning that's just finished maariv. So you think, for me, this is a heaven sent, because by the time I finish my Nesra, I end up saying Kidush Levana with a few small oilam, or maybe I don't say it at all with an oilam. Here I have a tzibur. So you want to join them and say Kidush Levana at 8:25. You have enough time to finish Kidush Levana and make a tansel and go to maariv. Problem, it's not a maila, it's a chesaron. Tadash ain't a tadash. You're going to maariv, Krishma's the Raisa 3 times a day, and Kidush Levana once a month. Where are your priorities? Don't forget, Tadash ain't a Tadash based on a pasuk. Some say it's a deraisa. But then again, I see a tzibur saying it. I'm mavirin ala mitzvahs. But you can't. You can't say Kiddush Levana. In fact, Chaim Volozhin, there's a story, I saw this in the Ma'aser Avachad, a Shinun test quoted from another sefer, that there was once a cloudy month. And right before maariv, they saw the Levana. They wanted to make Kiddush Levana right then and there. And he says, no, you can't. Tadash ain't a Tadash. You cannot delay a maariv because of Kiddush Levana. But Rabbi say, in our case, there's a big tzad lahakol. Since you're doing it to say b'ravam, and after maariv you won't have a ravam, so it's not a lack of priorities. Fakert, that's my priorities. And Taka, I saw Rav Sternbuch in one of his tshuvas, he Taka paskins like this, that if you wait, if you're saying it now for convenience, you want to get home earlier, that's Taka wrong. Wait for 8:30 and then you say it after your maariv. But if you're doing it to chap b'ravam hadras melech and you won't have it afterwards and there's no other minyan to wait for, you're allowed to overlook tadash and the tada for the maila of b'ravam. Now someone said, but 1 second, 8:25 is not Zman maariv yet because maariv is 8:30. But the truth is, Zman maariv started by tzeis, and so about this Zman maariv. We just had a Tisha B'Av. We look forward to Yom Kippur. So Shulchan Aruch in 3 places, Taf Chavav, Taf Kuf Nun Aleph, and Taf Reish Beis, says the minig, at least the minig of the Shulchan Aruch, is not to make Kiddush Levana until Matzai Tisha B'Av or Matzai Yom Kippur. The reason for us is very musbar. A very big part of the Tzuras HaMitzvah is Kabbalas B'nei Ashchina B'Simcha. Who's B'Simcha during the 9 days? Who's B'Simcha if there's an Emes Adin the entire Yemei Aseres Yemei Tshuva? So therefore, after Yom Kippur, we're more b'simcha. After Tisha B'Av, we're less ba'aveilis. And that's why many people will not make Kiddush Levana, they'll delay it. And the Chiddush, Rabbi say, is, you're delaying it till Matzai Yom Kippur, is always Yud Aleph.
Motzei Tisha B'Av, this year was also Yud Aleph, if there's an Itcha. But to make a Besimcha, you have to delay it. What's interesting is, and people make a mistake, so I want to clarify, because Negei for Yom Kippur, Mr. Brewer writes, when you do it on Motzei Tisha B'Av, don't do it after maariv, go home, eat a Suda, come back with your shoes, like appropriate for Kabbalah's Pnei HaShechina. But that's Motzei Tisha B'Av. Because really, it's aveilus, but try to do as best as you can. After Yom Kippur davening, we dafka do it before we go home and eat. Because this is the biggest mavussim of the year. A Yid's high point of the year is Motzei Yom Kippur. He's still Yom Kippurik. Who needs food? Who wants food? You have to have a basket, say, go home and eat. But we wouldn't go home. We would stay a whole night and then shul. So therefore, we dafka say it after davening before we go home and we eat. The minig hagra was to say it before Yom Kippur. That's pashut. There's a question what the Goyin held regarding before Tisha B'Av. Because the truth is, one of the reasons the Goyin says to say it before Yom Kippur is the chaperayim, the mitzvah of Kidush Levana will be machriya l'schus. That doesn't apply to the 9 days, no schus. And fakert, more simcha will be after Tisha B'Av. So even though a maariv it says to say it before Tisha B'Av, but you look in the Nice Kalim on the new maariv, he says it's not clear at all. Could be the Goyin held you allowed to wait till Motzei Tisha B'Av. But one thing I tell you personally, I daven in a shul that they make Kidush Levana, Shabbos Shuva, always. They don't wait. They go like the Goyin sheet. Now, our minhag and our yeshivas, we make a Motzei Yom Kippur. So whenever I have Shabbos Shuva in that shul, I always try to leave the shul before they start saying Kiddush Levana. Because to walk by a whole tzibur that's saying Kiddush Levana might be a pronounced ma'avir ala mitzvahs, and I don't want to do that. Just two more shahs I wanted to mention. The question of an aveil is interesting. Can an aveil during Shiva say Kiddush Levana is mamash ala sugya? Because it's certainly inappropriate to say Kiddush Levana during a tainus, Motzei tainus. Kolsh gains up to Shar Ephraim and Yeridei at Tzadikei. To say Kiddush Levana during aveilus is unacceptable. So you have to wait. The question is, till when? Can an aveil always wait? Let's say you finish aveilus, so you're dalid. So I have just one night to say. So the Magen Avram and Sifkat and Dalet says, if the aveilus finishes before Yud of the Chaydish, then you wait. Where to get the number Yud? Rabbi says beautiful from the Trumas Hadesh. The Bialacha has a problem with that. He says, only Yud you should wait? How could a person say an aveilus? Let's say the aveilus finishes Yud Aleph. So you should say it during aveilus? We're not talking about a Motzatayin, it's talking about aveilus. He says, how could you wait beyond Yud? He says, beautiful. From Motzei Tisha B'Av Nitcha, you wait till Yud Aleph. So to tell an Ava Loyalenu to wait is Kedai. To say it during Aveilus is inappropriate. And the truth is, some say, let's say the Aveilus finishes Tezvav. So he has to say it during Aveilus. He says it without shoes, of course, and maybe he says it in his house. To go with the Tzibur, maybe is inappropriate. So that's a very shver shah. Let's hope we don't have to have Aveilus. But the Aveilus, that's till Yud, all agree you have to wait. Some say even beyond Yud. Achrein Chav, the Shaila we began with. Let's talk about tonight. A Bar Mitzvah boy will be Bar Mitzvah tonight. Tes Elul. When should he have made Kiddush Levana this month of his Bar Mitzvah? L'chayra, what's the problem? You could have made it last Tuesday, Gimel. He could have made it last night with a lot of people. Why should he wait till Tes? Teretz is he wants to say Al's Gadol, and it'll be a Gadol tonight. And like many people will not daven early maariv on the Bar Mitzvah night because they want to say Krishma begadlus. But it's not so pashut. Because if he waits behind Bismargin, Kiddush Levana will never be a deraisa. You have to wait not to make Kiddush or Krishma until he's a gadol. But where do we see you have to wait for a mitzvah derabanan? And Takar Abshleim Bezalman Alicha Shloima in Tezvav Yud Aleph and Reb Chaim Kanievsky in Ishi Yisrael Mem Sivkat Ois Yud say when it comes to Kiddush Levana, you say it bizrizas, whenever the tzibah says it. There's no reason to wait because you're never going to make it a deraisa. So Zalman says, Azoi Vait, just like we don't tell a Bar Mitzvah who's Bar Mitzvah during Chanukah, say the Shechianu when you're Bar Mitzvah, the 5th night. Or we don't tell a Bar Mitzvah Bacha, say Hallel, the Brach on Hallel, Chalamoid Pesach, not the first nights, the first days. Why Chalamoid? Because when you say Hallel to Gadol, then you could say Gans Hallel. So no one says that. The teretz is you say it whenever you are mechuyev. But I must say, there are poskim, the B'ya'im Gimel Chav Zayin says, say it als gadol. It's never going to be more than a d'Rabbanan, but tonight is 2 d'Rabbanans, and tomorrow night als gadol will be 1 d'Rabbanan. So it's very hard to be machriya, but one thing I will say, if Bar Mitzvah is after Yud B'Chodesh, all agree, don't wait. I couldn't talk to you all.
I would also like to medit the Chosh Avolim that tonight is a very big kinnis in Flapish, a kinnis Shuva v'Chodesh Elul, sponsored by Irgun Shir Torah and Hakel. For never do so many tragedies in Klal Yisrael, we want to have the service for Chodesh Elul. There will be speakers Rav Agon, Rav Moshe Tuvia Leaf Shlita, Rav Lezer Ginsberg, and Rav Avram Shor. The fly is on the beamer, and the father, Rav Nachum Baum, and Nebuch who lost the younger man, he's also going to speak. It's on a Good of Avenue, L. 29th Street. Rabbi said, take the schedule. I believe it's 8 o'clock. Also, I'd like to thank Rabbi Smith for the wonderful Shia, and today's Shia is sponsored. I want to thank the sponsors, Rabbi Ripanas, Lenishmas Ovav, Rabbi Avram Zeb, Rabbi Socha, Rabbi Avram Motchestein, Lenishmas Ovav, Rabbi Yitzchak Yudah, Rabbi Yisrael, the Yot says tonight. Rabbi Chaim Akasham, Rabbi Gosh Baruch Zakos, is Yisrael Afiki Hebrew Mitzvah Mitzvahs, Shenem Adonai Chavas Man Tzidka, Yagdil Torah V'Yadeh, Kaddish. Amen. May Rabbi said the Besmedish made appeal for the electric. You see what's going on here, electric all day, all night. Everybody wants to help out. There's 2 astronoming a light, Choshving a light, staying here to help the Besmedish. Please help out. Sponsor a day, $100 for the electric of Besmedish. Rabbi said also, whoever didn't make it to the din of Egen Shir Torah, it's company Yeshivas Ben Azmanim, Yeshivas Chalamoid. We need the help of the entire Tzibah. Please help out, sponsor Shia, sponsor whatever you can to help out. Call up the Egen Shir Torah office at 718-851-8651. Everybody should be zeichet, a good gebent shia, tiskel mitzvahs. The sikkim of the shia is in a few minutes.
That's for sure. The question is 10 or 20. 10 over 3 for sure. Some say 10 over 3 is not sure. I don't think so. I don't know. Okay, Simchi, ready? I want to... Yeah. Yeah. This was Tuesday, not a mile. Oh, Chana. Yeah, Chaleisa.
If the mitzvah is chalaway in it, it's full.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Simcha. So you have to go with Cham Tzvi.
What's the shot? Yeah, but how could you? Where's my beer on a piece of chicken on Tuesday? Raw chicken. He's asking, how could Shami push up the chicken for Tuesday? Wait for behind, whatever, behind. Okay. My beer on mitzvahs.
The answer is very simple.
He did it tonight.
He like a chill. He knew that. No, it was not mitzvah, but he knew that as soon as tomorrow was going to have another. It's important.
I like tonight better. More you see this.
More
Okay. I know what you like, but I like it also. Oh, think of it. Okay, ready? Simcha. Oh. Right down there on top.
Rabbi said we're not waiting for Zion Shlemim, but Rabbi Smith is going to say the Sikkim right now. Take a few minutes.
Okay. Just a short summary, learned today, Bez Hashem, we have this unique mitzvah of Kidush Levana, which is Kabbalah's Pnei Ashchina. We saw Shkula K'nei Kol HaMitzvahs, and it has its unique shilas of priorities. Basically, there are 3 days, Zmanim to say it. 3rd day is, that's when you see the Levana. The 7th day is Zayin Shleim Al Pi Kabbalah. And Motzei Shabbos is a Maila because it's a better quality Kiddush Levana. There's also Zriza Makdimin Lamitzis, Rava, Motzei Shabbos. So basically, I think the way to do it, to decide the Shaila, is you count up the Mailas, and whenever you have Roiv, you follow the Roiv. 2 out of 3, you do like that. Yechidis, or wait for a Ravam, so that's a Machlokes Gedolei HaPoskim, but it seems to us that you should wait for Ravam tomorrow night, as long as you know you could still wait, and do it with Ravam. If you could do it tonight with 2 other people, so you have 3, you'll be Saimach that 3 is Ravam, that would be good, you don't have to wait till tomorrow night. After a private tainus, you should try to eat first, but if not, do it with the tzibur, said the Magen Avraham, because Ravam Hadras Melech. The tzibur on Motzei Shabbos, says the Levush, is a bigger tzibur, so do it on Motzei Shabbos, and don't wait for Zayin Shleimim. Now on a weeknight, or Motzei Shabbos, so this we saw, the Tradition says, as long as Motzei Shabbos is Yud, B'chaydish, or earlier, wait for Motzei Shabbos. Zrizen Makdimin Lamitzvahs, Bichidush is important, but Motzei Shabbos is a covet for the mitzvah, it's not a bezoyin for the mitzvah, so you're waiting to make the mitzvah in a better way. There's no chisaron of Mavirin ala mitzvahs or Zrizen Makdimin Lamitzvahs. As far as the Ravam, some say 3 is enough, some say 10 is enough, someone asks, is 20 better than 10? Of course, 20 is better than 10. But the chiyuv is to have either 3 or 10. But our way you can rely that the 3 is enough for Raivam. It's kedai to wait for a tzibur, or go, let's say a person is walking and it was a cloudy night and he sees a Levana, if you could walk a few blocks to catch a tzibur, it's a kvada kedai, there's a maila to make Rav Hadras Melech. Should a person rush a Shmei Esrei? If the Shmei Esrei is kahoigen, don't rush it. If it's not kahoigen, you should rush it without Kidush Levana, but certainly with Kidush Levana. We came out that a Kot Negiah L'Chinuch should count into Ravam because he is a person that's saying a valid Kiddush Levana, although it's a lesser level of Kiddush Levana. A tzibur that finished the bracha, but I hope you could still consider Ravam because you're joining them, even though they're saying the end of it, you're starting the bracha, but you have a matzev, that l'char is enough. The Shulchan Aruch says to wait till Motzei Shabbos, the Goyin, the Bach says don't wait for Zayin Shleimim. The Bach said you can wait till Motzei Shabbos, but the Goyin said don't wait for anything because 3 days is always the time to say it. We had a shaila if a Gronik should say it 3 days during the week or wait for Motzei Shabbos. Tzibur, so he has 3 milas. It's Motzei Shabbos, and he has the Tzibur saying it, and the fact that, or else since Lamaisa he is Makbid on 3 would be his time to say it. The Tzibur that's saying Zayin Shleiman, and a person wants to say Motzei Shabbos before, he's allowed to do that because he has Motzei Shabbos and Zrizen, and the Tzibur only has Tzibur. But Tzibur, that's after 3 days, and he wants to say it on Motzei Shabbos, which is before Zayin Shleiman, then we said do it with the Tzibur because he has 2 milas. A tzibur that's saying it on Motzei Shabbos and his paid is Zayin Shleiman not before, so there's nothing to talk about. He can't say it before Zayin Shleiman. If it's a kosher Levana, just it's a little cloudy and the Rav says it's perfectly kosher, there's no suffix,
say put the tzibah and don't wait unless you have a tzibah tomorrow night when the Levana will be clearer. Before maariv, you should not say Kidush Levana outside the Sheinatada unless you won't have a minyan tomorrow night, and now you have a minyan. Before Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av, the minig, I think of many people, is to say it after Tisha B'Av Yom Kippur. After Tisha B'Av, you go home and eat first. After Yom Kippur, you say it right after davening. The Gra did not say it before, did not wait till Motzei Yom Kippur, and it's questionable if the Goyin said it before Tisha B'Av. The aveil should wait at least until Yud Aleph and not say it during aveil, even though he has to say it bichidas after aveil, but he can't say it during aveil. The mitzvah, there's a Bar Mitzvah, a nice idea for a pshetel, is Bar Mitzvah boy, that's Bar Mitzvah, test of a month. Should he say it Gimel, Zayin, Matzoi Shabbos, or wait until his Bar Mitzvah? Maybe the chinuch is that he should say it right. What's the chinuch? It's a good pshetel, 2 D'Rabbanans, 1 D'Rabbanan. That's something to talk about.
Yeah.